Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to our regular weekly update, and let's start. So I would start, normally I'd go through the charts, but today I want to start with the trade somebody asked. One of three of the main trades I told you guys to focus on last week, and we've been focusing on these three trades for a while. One of them is the New Zealand. Let's start with the New Zealand. You guys know we are focused very much on this because there's very big moves to come within this, and I want you to follow it. We will be in the webinar. I want you to really follow these trades because this is how we trade. I want you to follow us. Remember the first trade we took in this was at the top here, right? Most of you would know we had that trade from the top there. It came in here, and I told you guys if it starts to consolidate a lot in here, I will exit the trade. This is where I exit that first trade. Somewhere in here, I exit that first trade. It went up, and we're looking for a sell. Right, so some of my traders got in at the top there. I got in here today, so I'm in this trade right in there. Well, probably 5 or 6 pips only, so nothing to really worry about. I'm in the trade now in the breakout. That's in this consolidation, so I may be about 5 or 6 pips positive only. I have my stop. Normally I don't say this, but I'll just let you know why I have my stop here. And there's a reason why I put the stop there. The reason we will not discuss, right? I may never, if this starts to go back up, I will not live with that stop. We are actually monitoring this structure to see if it is going to make bigger corrections. And if it starts to make bigger corrections like this, I would take off the trade and re-enter at the top here. Right? Now that's something we can do because we look at structure. That's not something you can do because you probably don't know very much about how to trade using structures. So if you're going to be in the trade, you will have to use a stop here. Right? And it's important because it gives you risk to reward. Your risk to reward will be worse than my risk to reward. Because my risk to reward, when we calculated with what we are doing, would be like your stop here, your entry there, and this is our target. We will try to keep the trade all the way to this target like we kept this trade all the way to this target here. So at this point, there is a chance, and the bigger structure, let me show you that, and the bigger structure, there is a good chance that this trade here may make one more up. And I said may, we are not sure about whether that will happen. That could happen, it doesn't have to happen. But based on the structure we're looking at, it could happen. So we always anticipate that structure to probably make a 5-wave or a 3-wave. If it makes the 5-wave, we will exit somewhere in here. Like we exited somewhere in here, we will exit somewhere in here, and we would look for that bite to the upside. The bite to the upside, if it does happen, is going to be a very rough one, because if you look at all these trades going up, and if you look at this one going up, it's a little not that smooth, right? So the bite to the upside is not going to be a smooth buy. It may be a very tough one, but we will try to get it. I would appreciate if this just fall through the bottom and go, because if it goes through that bottom, we will be looking at the weekly structure now. And that means we are anticipating a move out of this line, way down to the bottom here. This will not go in a straight line. I think all of you are aware of that. It will not go in a straight line, and it may take a very long time to go. So we may exit this first trade here also. We may exit that trade, but we will be following the trend, taking more and more trades going with it, if it continues to go. Right? That is the whole point. You don't have to keep the one trade if it is going to go into much deeper consolidation. You can exit that trade because the consolidation may take days and weeks and months. Right? So we exit the trades, and if they're going to take months to bigger consolidation up, we're going to buy. If it's a short consolidation, we're going to exit the trade and re-enter again. Right? That's basically what trading. That's wave trading, because you're looking at the waves and you're reading the waves. You understand where a wave pattern is going to form. You can forecast what pattern will come, and based on that, you make decisions. Right? It is not very easy, as some people may think, as putting a few trend lines. I always hate to say this, but I saw a new wave trader appearing, and somebody asked a question like, "Should I sell now?" And yeah, just go sell it right now. The guy says, "Should I wait for any confirmation?" No, don't wait for confirmation. Just go sell it, man. Have fun, enjoy yourself. I'm the chief of wave trading. I'll tell you what to do. Just go sell it. Crazy stuff happens. This is not as easy as it looks, guys. Let me get it back to you. It's not as easy as it looks, but we're looking. Look for this trade, and in that trade, I also said watch the Euro New Zealand. This is a sucker. I was in at the bottom. It took me out, and then it gone up without me. So I'm not in the trade. You all know I wanted to be in this trade very badly. So my first buy was here. My stop was here. This one came, took me out, and then it took off, and I never had the chance to get in back. It did have a few pullback. I just didn't get a good chance to get in back. We are breaking this structure, so I'm going to look at the 4-hour possibility for an entry. This trade has huge possibilities. So let me show you the 2 possibilities we're looking at right now. One of the possibilities, if remember that New Zealand could make one more up move. If that happens, what will happen is this is going to come here. New Zealand is going to come down. If New Zealand make that one more move up, this one is going to make one more move down. This would be the end of it, and then that we're going to have that trade up. New Zealand will be the big trade down. If New Zealand breaks through and just continue to go, we're going to break this structure and continue to go up. And there is a really, really, really big trade to the upside here. I mean, really big trade. The new traders who are in my room now studying, one of them is doing this, and when he did it, he was like, wow, I could see structure now. He was like, I could see structure, and this thing has the possibility to go up, right? You can imagine the change of his vision when he really started looking at charts and understanding them and seeing, oh, yep, this thing has possibility to go, right? Start understanding how the charts work. It's amazing, that change when you watch traders who came in, had no clue how charts move, and then suddenly start saying, oh, I could see this. And I know some of you have asked me before that, can we get reviews from your trade students? I normally don't ask them to do that, and there's a good reason why. Here is why. If I ask my students to do reviews, they're going to do a lot of reviews. I'll get about 50, 60, maybe 100 reviews, and they're all going to be good reviews. Right? It's natural. None of them will send me a bad review, and I will post 50 good reviews for you guys to look at. That wouldn't give you any clue as to what they're learning in the room, right? Because they will send something nice to me. The only way you can find they will send something bad to me is if they're leaving the group, or if I kick them out of the group. That's the only way you'll get something bad. And there are 1 or 2 people who have been kicked out of the group, so they may say something bad. I haven't heard them say it, but they may, or they could say it. So reviews are a waste of time. It doesn't give you an indication of what you will get. If you want to understand, look at how I trade, look at what my webinars, and look at the charts I post, and you will have an understanding of what we do. If you want to fully understand what we do, then you can join us. So don't ask for reviews. It wouldn't help you. I'm telling you the honest truth, right? Because I can give you 100. It's going to be biased because they're my traders. They have no choice but to be biased, right? They all like me, so they're going to be biased about it. So watch this breakout here. If you get a breakout here now, we're going to aim for this trade. If we consider that the New Zealand already breakout, this will break out. And when this breakout, we look for an entry. We will look for the entry in the 1 hour, which means don't jump in the chart when it's breaking out like this, because it will make a correction, and let it go and make that correction, and then we will take the trade. So this may take you a couple days to get in this trade. But if you wait for that couple days, you're going to have a good risk to reward trade. Trading is about good risk to reward. It's not about catching the bottom or the top or being the first person to be in that trade, right? Because if you try to be the first person to be in that trade every time, you're likely going to lose your account eventually. And I can tell you that. I keep repeating it. Go and look at people's chart who are trying to pick bottom and top. You will see how many losing trades they make before they eventually get the direction right. It's not that they're not getting the direction right. It's that they're jumping into the trade one too fast, right? They want to be the first to be in that trade, and they lose it, and then they lose it, and then they lose it. And then eventually the trade turns and go, and guess what happens? They're either not in that trade, or, you know, something else happened. Like me trying to get into this Euro New Zealand a little early, right? But I had enough reasons based on my strategy. That was a good breakout. That was a good consolidation here. And my buy was here. The only thing was this turned out to be a 1, 2, 3 and not the one that go. They give me a new low. Okay, I'm ready for that. I should have gotten back this trade right here. But I wasn't there when that happened, and I missed it. If I missed it, I let it go. That's simple. If you miss a trade, let it go. Don't chase the trade. Don't revenge trading. Let it go. There are millions of other trades in the room. So we will get this one. We will get it. And on any pullback, I will post for you guys. We will look for this trade to the top here. That's a very nice trade coming up this week. For those of you who are in the New Zealand like me, one person asked, tell you what to do. Keep the trade. I already told my traders. Some of my traders have 3 entries in this going. Keep the trade. We have been talking about this trade for how long? How many of you have been coming to my webinars for a year now, right? We have been talking about these trades. These are going to be very huge trades. If you want to make thousands and thousands and thousands of pip and prove to yourself you can do it, follow me and keep these trades. You can put your stop deposit. We don't see a very big correction coming soon, so keep the trade. We broke this structure. That means we're going to look for the next possible structure it's coming to, and that is this one here. This is your next problem. When it gets there, of course, it wouldn't go in one straight line. This one did not come down in a straight line. That one did not go up in a straight, but we're not anticipating this big pullback. If I see there's anything like that coming, I will post heads up for you guys to exit the trade, right? So keep this trade. Those of you who are in, we will add to this trade. I will post heads up when we're going to put new trades onto it. If it makes any corrective structure, all of you remember we bought here, right? If this makes any corrective structure, you can add more trades to it and you can move your stop to this level. When it does that, it hasn't done that yet. Not these small ones. I'm talking about a bigger corrective structure. You will move your stops and then you're going to add more trades to it. This has very big potential, like the New Zealand and the Euro New Zealand. This thing has completed this wave. This is your impulse. It has completed a 1, 2, 3 wave correction. It couldn't go lower than that. It couldn't give us a better deal than that. And now we're looking for this trade to go all the way to the top. If you look how this one went, it's probably going to go very fast. This is an indication of how fast these impulse move, this one is probably going to go very fast. See? So keep this trade. We would look to add trades to this trade. If we see that there's a good structural change coming in terms of a big turn, not a consolidation, but a big turn for more downside, we will tell you I don't see that coming. Understanding structure is paramount. Making forecasts is what you have to do as a trader. I notice every Tom, Dick, and Harry is giving advice suddenly on TradingView so that they can get likes on their charts as to 10 things to do, 20 things what not to do, 5 things to do, and all these. TradingView did the right thing. They give you 5 things you shouldn't do in TradingView. I totally agree with that. That's enough. You don't have people coming up with 10 things you should do if you're a trader, 14 things you should do. It's like marriage advice, right? The people who are giving those advice, they're divorced, right? 10 things you should do to have a successful marriage, and those people are divorced, right? So you don't want to take advice like that. Here, there's no 10 things and 5 things and 20 things you should do, guys. There's one thing you should do. You should get knowledge. You should be educated and get knowledge about what the chart is doing. If you have knowledge, nobody can tell you any 10 steps and 5 steps and 3 steps and 2 steps what you should do, right? Those are crazy stuff. I just read them for the fun, right? So please, 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 education, knowledge, that is the basis if you want to become a good trader. Knowledge about trading, knowledge about what the charts are doing, knowledge about structure, knowledge about support and resistance and why it doesn't work, knowledge about advanced patterns, how you can use them and where you shouldn't use them. Knowledge about all these stuff. That will make you a good trader. It's knowledge that will make you a good trader. Not 10 things. No 10 things or 5 things or 4 things or 3 things will make you a good trader. Knowledge about money management, how you use money management, the knowledge about it. It's not only about 1% in every trade. Knowledge about risk to rewards. Knowledge about how you do all of this stuff is what makes you a good trader. Knowledge, number 1. Not 10 things, 1 thing, get knowledge. If you're educated, few people can fool you. I always say, and I will repeat it, take a whole year if you're new and don't buy a single course, because any course you're buying if you're first year in the market is going to teach you basic stuff you can have for free. You can go anywhere, babypip.com, all over the place, and get those stuff for free that those guys are teaching you for $500 or $1,000 if you're totally new. Spend a year, learn all those stuff, understand what trading is about, understand the possibilities you have in here, understand the risk you have in here, decide for yourself, right? Decide for yourself let's not discuss particular people's name, please. If you can avoid doing that, don't call names, right? What I'm discussing is not names, I'm discussing theories that people use. Things that you will hear in the market, things that you should not do. I'm trying to discuss the issues, not people. So let's avoid calling names and do that. Sorry for that, right? So it's the issues I'm discussing. Things that traders do that hyped. I will give you 1,000 pip. I'll give you. Everybody remember the 1,001 pip? What happened to that? It disappeared. Disappeared. You remember the 100 free trades? Those are hypes. And if you get knowledge, those hypes will not catch you. You will not take on those hypes. You will see beyond them. And that's what I am teaching you to do. See beyond the hypes. Don't follow it. See beyond the hypes. This is what we are saying. This is going to be a U trade, and it is a U trade. If you follow what we're talking about structure, you're going to get a big trade coming up here. This is just one single candle for this week. Let me show you how much more weekly candles like that you're going to be looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4 before you get a correction. This could go for another week. It could go for another week, go for another week before you get a correction. That's knowledge. That's not hype. That's knowledge, understanding, looking at the charts, figuring out what it's going to do, knowing where you should enter, knowing when you should exit the trade, knowing when to stay in the trade, right? You're out of that big trade. Okay, so watch it. We've been talking about this trade for a while. So if you're following me and you're not in the trade, you're wasting a lot of time. This is going to go. So we will tell you when to add more to that. 3 big trades: New Zealand, Aussie New Zealand, Euro New Zealand. We don't need to know why they will go. We need to know that they will go because the structure told us they will go. Right? That's what you need to know. We are definitely in that trade. I think there was a post in that trade on the 1 hour for you guys to enter. Was it on the 1 hour and the daily? I'm pretty sure I had a post put out on that, maybe in the daily. Let me see. It wasn't on the daily. There was I'm not talking about this one, the buy setup. I think there was an update here when we started, update on that chart. It wasn't the post separate, it's an update, I think. There's a lot of updates I post out. Yep, it was an update on this one. First update so that you can watch it. The second update when we are in the trade, when we took that buy on the thing. It pulled back, you took that buy, you get in. And these are the updates following it. You could have bought here again, going, and you can see it's going, it's breaking. Where you need to watch it is here. It broke out already. I'll post a new update. Already broke out, going well, right? So these charts were there, right? Those are the 3 we will continue to follow. We're going to track them as we go along. The next one, if you're not in any one of them that you want to get in, that is the Euro New Zealand. We'll come back to that, and that is the one you're going to try to get in. I'll try to give you guys an entry. If you're not in any one of them, there'll be opportunities to get in. Don't worry. There will be a lot of opportunities to get in, right? So let's go now and look at the rest of the charts that everybody else wants to see. And let's start from the dollar index. Dollar index still in consolidation. A lot of consolidation here. Not very clear which direction it is going to take us yet. I still think it's looking very much, as it looks right now, it's looking very much downside, which means they can make more consolidation here for a while, then go down. We will track this consolidation, but the bigger picture is looking downside. Not very soon. They may climb up, slowly. This may stay in here for a couple months at least, and then we will see where it goes. Euro, same thing, in a consolidation, and no idea where it's going to go right now because it's sitting at a point where it's in the middle of this structure. Short term, I think upside. If they break this, we'll buy. That's short-term trade because we're looking at an uptrend. We're looking at an uptrend, possibility upside. Short term, right? I mean, medium term. Short term, it could still possibly be in here for a while. So we'll keep track of this. There isn't anything that I see that is interesting in this. Those 3 trades are sure interesting. This one, maybe if you're looking for a trade today, I don't think you should. But if you're looking for a trade today, you may get a very short trade back to the bottom here, right? Or at least in the middle here as a 1, 2, 3. It's not the best trade on a Friday afternoon to look at. Aussie, and this is the learning moment. I want you guys to remember. I actually post this chart so you can understand structure a little, how it goes. You never know whether you're going to have a 5-wave or a 3-wave structure when you start to see patterns like these. Both of these structures supported that pattern. It could be a 3 or a 5-wave. So what I said is wait for an impulse, wait for a correction, and then buy for this one. Right? That was it. That didn't happen. I see people jumping around crazily on the 5-minute chart asking, is there an impulse? Is there a correction? As this was going up here, we saw this. And I said to my traders, be careful. That is corrective. That is going to break. We know that is going to break. It wasn't a trade that I took because I wanted them to break this structure, confirm more downside. I wasn't interested in this little piece here because they could have just break and go back up, making the flag here, which they didn't do. Now we are breaking this structure. What you need to do, jump in, wait. If they're going to go down much more, the trade to the downside is going to be big. You're looking for a trade to retest this low, which would come to about this level, which means you're going to wait for a 1 hour correction after you've gone out, right? You're going to wait for this to go, let it go, let it make a flag, and then you sell, because it could reverse from here, come back at the top there, make a flag here, and then we will all be in this buy if that happened. You don't have to be in every candle that is moving, right? Just remember that. You don't have to be in every single candle that is moving. You will lose your account doing that. Can you guys keep your questions for later? All right, we can do that. Okay, what else? Aussie, we looked at the Aussie. Same thing here. Traders like to use support and resistance, and they keep telling you, oh, we broke the support, and we're going to pull back to that support. You can see that? All of you see? We broke support for some reason. We broke the support. We pull back to the support. Sell. Sell like crazy. It's going to go. Good for you if you see support in the chart. I don't see it. There's nothing like support and resistance in the chart. And your account will teach you a lesson if you see it. This is what you see, not support and resistance. You see a structure, a pattern. If you look carefully, you see a pattern rather than see support and resistance. And the pattern tells me then, when I looked at this pattern, that there was a possibility for it to go back up. Right? Remember, I actually posted that chart. There's a possibility for a three-wave structure, understanding it, how it works, understanding how structure works. Don't just sell crazily or buy crazily. Understanding the potentials of how structure work is important. This could easily be a 1, 2, 3, and we go up. So what we'll be looking for now? Are we breaking that trend line? Right? If we break that trend line, we're literally going to be going up for a big impulse to the upside. I don't think they're going to break that trend line. That's just my view for now. Short-term trade, if you're looking for, maybe Monday, maybe today, they could break out of this. And if they break, look for this short trade. If they start to break this structure, look for a flag and sell. Look for a flag and sell if they start to break the structure. So rather than selling here and losing that trade, selling here and losing that trade, you look for a sell here, put a stop here, and then you will get this trade to go. There's a higher probability for that trade to go if they break and they give you a flag. This looks like a flag to me, so I'm not expecting a break in a flag. I'm expecting this to actually go up one more. At this point, we can look for the downside. If we see structure change. See? That's it. Right? That's it. I also think it's going to go downside, but remember, we don't trade our thoughts. You can't trade what you think or what you believe. You trade what the chart is doing. Right? You wait for the chart to prove that that is what it's doing, and then you take the trade. So it looks like upside to me, right? It's making a flag. Would that be a flag? If it breaks, it's a flag. I'll be in the trade. If it doesn't break, then I'll look for a sell setup. If it breaks to the downside, I will look for a sell setup. New Zealand, I already show you. It's a sell and it's going great. US Chief, let's look at this. Take out this one. We were looking for that sale, and in the room, I told my traders, take it off. Don't sell it. The reason we don't sell it, because the structure starts to show us something else. The structure is showing us this possibility. And if you look at a bigger structure, you will see what I'm thinking. Bigger structure is showing you it could go up from here, or it could actually come down from there. Which one would it be? I don't know. As long as it's in the middle of that thing doing this here, I'll wait for the trade. So we're not doing anything there. The bigger picture, this looks upside. This structure has an impulse, a correction, and it could go out now, or it could come back here and then go out. The bigger picture is upside. Right? There's no question of the direction of the bigger picture. CAD, I think you remember I said this is all a corrective structure. Some people were selling the top of CAT and keep selling the top and selling the top, taking loss after loss, and then it eventually falls, right? So what is this fall telling us? Came down, look for this. Wait, let's wait and see. You don't have anything in there, right? This structure could come back here, or it could go up. If it goes up, remember what I told you the last time, we're looking for a trade to about the 50 fib. Let's go back to the daily. And the last time we said either they come back here and then go, or they go from here and you're looking for a trade like this. That is why I have the blue line there. They have to go above the blue line, consolidate, and then we would look for a trade, right? There's a possibility for more upside in CAT. It's a corrective structure. By the way, the next big trade you want to look for, let me give you a heads up from now. The next big trade you want to look for will be this trade. Remember the Aussie New Zealand? This is pretty early, right? This one may take some time. This one, you remember the Aussie New Zealand, how long it go, but this is going to be one hell of a trade when it starts to go. And it will go, right? It's just a matter of time. How long will this spend here before it goes? The Aussie New Zealand took a hell of a long time, 2 years or a year before it go. We don't know how long this will take, but when this break, this is going to be one like the Aussie New Zealand and like the Euro New Zealand and like the New Zealand, right? I don't care if the CAT fundamentals are weak. What that has to do with what the CAT will do. See, that's the thing you guys are worrying, and that's why you lose. You don't get into these big trades, right? You keep looking at the wrong thing. You keep looking at something you can't interpret, right? You can't interpret the fundamentals. That fundamentals will change in the blink of an eye. It's weak now, it's going to be strong in an hour. A next news event comes out and it's going to be strong, extremely strong, right? So don't look at that. Don't try to look at things you don't understand. Look at the things you understand and the things you can interpret and the things you can trade. And that is the patterns. You can trade them. They're distinctive, they repeat themselves, and if you learn how to read them correctly, you can trade them. That's the whole point. You can't trade fundamentals. When the news event doesn't go the way it should go, they say, well, the sentiment is not right. Okay, well, you can always say that. Then you will always be correct, but you will not be in a good trade. So look at this. I'm telling you now, you can take a snapshot of this and keep it. Like I told you to take a snapshot of the Aussie, New Zealand and keep it. When this correction is over, there is going to be a big trade to the downside. Right? I don't care what the fundamentals will be then. I don't know what it will be. Right? And I don't care to know what it's going to be. This is a corrective structure and there will be another impulse down. It's that simple. Right? Yen keeps going down. We're looking for this upside very soon. I think at least a bigger correction should come at some point. So if you look at this chart and it went up all the way to this came down. If this is even going to continue to go down, at some point they have to make a bigger correction. Remember the CAD I just showed you? Bring it back up so you can see. It has to make a correction to the upside and then continue to go. So if yen is going to continue to go down, we can still anticipate a bigger correction here and then the drop. So this is the trade we'll be looking for. Trading one of this up, trading one of this up, trading one of this up, and then look for the next trade to the downside. Right? So there's a possibility that very soon that upside on yen will start. Whether it's going to be impulsive or corrective, we will see, but it's going to go up very soon. Slowly, we will trade it slowly. If it starts to go fast, we will go. But right now, it's just going sideways. So stay out of it for a while. There were short trades in it. We took a short trade last week, you remember? If there's any short trade during the week, I'll post it. If there's any short sell setup or buy setup, we can do that. Right now, there isn't anything happening there. Euro Oz, interesting one. I took a break even from this one. Most of you would remember I was in this trade. Let me show you from where. Good. Most of you would remember I got in the trade here, right here. Went back. I kept the trade. I was supposed to exit the trade if they have done something like this and then come back. They didn't do that and they took me out for break even. That's okay. I could give this up every now and then. I think it was 100 and something trade pips. But that's okay because I was going for the long run and that didn't happen. Every now and then, if you're going for those long trades, you will have to give up 1 or 2 for break even. That's okay. I mean, break even, that's like 10 pips. Right? So that's okay with it. Now, if we are looking at this structure, we're looking at the structure after they made this, and it's looking much more downside. See that? This is looking much more downside. Now, there's still a possibility for one more up and then the downside. Not going to explain to you why, but I'm telling you now that that possibility exists. All right? So if this here is a corrective structure as it's looking right now on the 1 hour, it's looking very corrective. You can see it's starting to make this flag pattern here. Once it breaks this structure, I'm going to be in it for a longer term trade to the downside. So maybe next week we get this trade. Keep focus on this. If it's going to go up more, which means like violently going up more for this one more trade, this is not how I see it starting. I will have to wait until I get a very violent move up, a corrective structure, and then I'll start trading it. So there is no up trade as it. Right now I'm looking for the down trade. Euro New Zealand, you all know we will look for that trade, that buy. Euro Yen is starting to make some kind of a buy setup here. Short term, this is very short term buy setup. If they break to the upside, watch this trade here. That's a nice short term buy setup trade. Let me show you in the 4 hour what the structure looks like. I'm looking at this structure here. And if this starts to go up, we're going to look at a 1, 2, 3 wave structure back to this level. So once they break out of this structure here, you have two trades. You have this trade, you have this trade here, and then you have this trade here. Two trades that are possible for next week, right? I'm going to go through most of the pairs, at least for you guys. So just relax a little. If you wait a little, we'll go through them pretty fast and we'll have time for questions. Those that don't have anything interesting, I'm just going to pass them, right? Euro Chief. Okay, I'm not supposed to show you guys this, but it's already on, so you're lucky. I'll just show you. That's an entry order we have in from our trading room. My fault, I shouldn't have shown this. This chart is, I forget I had that entry order on there. Should have taken it off before. So this is something we do in our trading room only. If it comes there, we will sell. And that's all I'm going to show you there. Let's go. I'll come back to that trade later on. Yep. EuroCAD, possible some upside right now. I'm looking at this. It may come down some more like this, but this structure, if it does that, will give us one more trade to the top here. Right? We'll get one more trade to the upside. We'll get an impulse like this going up because it's coming down corrective, and there's a possibility that they make one more upside. We will probably get one more up trade, and then we'll look for the downside. Right? As it's coming right now in that little piece down, let's see if we have a sell set up on the 1 hour. No, I don't see a sell set up here. I think it could break. This could break out actually and give us a small trade to the upside here. So you may want to pay attention to that because I don't think they're going to, if they're going to go down back, they'll have to retrace all of this and you sell at the bottom there, right? Euro Pong, and we're looking for a sell setup also. This is why we think you can get a sell setup. I think we can see this come down from here back to this level. So this would be the trade. Wait for the breakout. Wait for the breakout. Wait for the consolidation, and that would be the trade. So maybe next week we get that trade to the downside. This one pull back, and this one here. We're looking for downside. This downside is very possible. Let's see if they do that. We don't want to sell it from the top. We never know where the top is. We don't know that's the top, and we don't know that they're not going to break out. If they break out, I would look for short-term buys. They're like this one. These are short-term buys, right? So we're looking for the longer trade to the downside if we get it. Pongos, I think this is an interesting one. All of you want to see this. This is a little controversial one. I think I did irritate a few people by saying that, because the reason I posted this chart, and I know sometimes it's controversial, the reason I did it is that I don't like people hyping crazy stuff. Right? Especially if you're a serious trader. And I take a lot of serious traders very seriously. And when you become that level of serious trader, you've got to stop posting those crazy hypes of I'll give you 1,000 pips, I'll give you 1,001 pips, I'll give you 100 free trades and all those nonsense. Just post your charts. So when traders post charts with those hype, I kind of reacted and said, oh, well, I can't promise you that. But I can tell you if it go up, it will be a correction, which didn't even happen. It made a correction in here and it's dropping. Right? So you can see that you're not in any corrective structure as yet. Would it go up back? I am also looking for upside. I think it will go up, but most likely is a correction. Now, most of you like to look for head and shoulder patterns, which will only be possible if this was the correction. So we will know that if they break out of here and they start to climb up slowly. Now, nobody says it can't happen. What I'm saying is don't hype it. Right? Just don't hype it. Just do your thing. You're serious. Right? I don't like the hypes because hypes are actually catchy to very novice trader, and there's a lot of novice trader on TradingView. There are a lot of novice trader on TradingView. So what we're going to do here is wait. Right? There was a short sell. I think somebody said if you took the sell, was asking if anybody took the sell. If you took the sell, you have a couple pips, put it to break even or take it off, because this is where they could stop. Right? I'm just giving you my advice. Right? I did not take that sell. That I'm not interested in these short-term trades right now. On a Friday afternoon, wasn't the short-term trade I'm interested in. So what we would look for is a reversal at some point. Right in here, if we see this start to go back up, the same thing applies. Breakout, consolidate, and then go. This would be your trade. This would be your trade. If it is going to go up, you will have a lot of pips to the upside. Right? Victor is asking, there are Dutch people in the room, or you're answering to somebody asking? I didn't see you in the room, Vic. I just saw you. You're answering, yeah, we have. That's definitely. I just saw you in the room. I didn't see you there earlier. Okay, let's go. So watch this trade. There's a nice opportunity in it coming. And if it's going to be corrective, it's going to be small trades, 3 or 4 very nice small buys. It's not going to be very big trades. So no reason to work up on that too much. Pound New Zealand, pretty similar structure. There is only one thing that is important here. Remember New Zealand trade, and remember the 3 trades I identify for you: Euro New Zealand, New Zealand dollar, and the Aussie New Zealand. I didn't identify this one as a buy setup, right? There's a good reason we do that, right? We didn't say all the New Zealand trades are going to go. We picked the 3 that we think are going to go, because this one doesn't have a setup to say it's going to go up. There is a chance we could correct some, or I think it could make a correction back to this level as a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. There may be a buy setup there next week for us, right? But it's short term. It's not like the Aussie New Zealand and like the Euro New Zealand. It's very short term going up, right? So keep your eyes on this one. I don't have a setup on it right now. I have nothing there, so I'll just leave it alone. Let's go. Pound Chief. Let's go. These are the charts we look at very often. Pound Chief, I think we will get one more up before they go down. There's a big move to the downside coming, but first they should go up back. I want them to correct this move. At least correct that move or break the top. So we will look for buy setups. Next week, we'll look for buy setups there. Pound CAD, let me go very fast. Now, Pound CAD, similar structure, look for buy setups, right? Don't ignore the pin bar. I'm not buying because of some pin bar, right? It has to make an impulse and a correction, and then you can get a buy. You probably are getting this impulse now. So if we get a correction next week, it will give us a nice trade to the upside, right? Ignore the pin bar stuff. Another trade where you should never buy because of breaking of any structure and retesting any structure, because it's still going down, right? This one, I think you should stay out of it for a while, because this is what it's doing. This is what we can see in terms of pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it breaks this to go up here, that will be 5. And if it is making a triangle, it will break to the downside. If it is not a triangle, and it doesn't have to be a triangle, they will break this to the upside. So the buy is a good one for this trade and then for that trade. Retesting this stop. So the buy is a good one. If we get that buy setup, we'll wait for it. Wait for it. That's the clue. You will wait for that buy setup. And if we get that buy setup, we'll take the trade. There isn't a buy setup here right now. Can everybody please use the chat and keep your questions for later? Right? Or Vic, you can see if you can answer the questions for them there. I think I haven't made you wait. Let me just put you onto the panel. Yep. Good. See if you can help with those questions there. Oh, okay, Mark, you could go ahead and do it. Yes. Post everything that you have in the chat, so we don't have to look into there, so everybody can see it. We're very transparent. Skip all the yen pairs. All these yen pairs. There's a good reason why. Skip them. Skip this yen. Skip this yen pair. This one has a good setup, but we'll look at that next week. I'll post it out. Skip that. Aussie, New Zealand, we did already. Aussie CAD, I want to come to. Right? I want to come to the Aussie CAD because this one is interesting. We're in this one, and I posted that if they break this structure, sell. Well, they didn't break the structure. They actually went up, and they still haven't broke the structure, right? They're still going up crazy. As a matter of fact, they just made a new high on this one. This was a good sell setup for us. If my traders took it, you probably took a small loss there above the stop, right? You took that, you took the trade. Right? It wasn't looking very nice. So now let's put this here and see what happens. Wait for this. It's still going up. That's the funny thing. It's still going up, but this will come down. And if it comes down, we'll get a very good trade. There's a very good chance that if they break this structure and make a flag here, we're going to get a trade down. Right? So this is where we'd look for a trade next week. Right at the top there. We're no longer going to wait for the break of this structure. We'd wait for the break of this uptrend. And that will be the trade setup if we get it. Right? If we get that, we're not only looking for it to come here, we're looking for a bigger move down to the bottom here. We'd be looking for this trade. Sorry, let me just show you why. We'd be looking for this trade to come to this low because we're looking at this setup 1, 2, 3. We're looking at that 1, 2, 3, and we're looking at this 1, 2, 3 structures. There's another 1, 2, 3 structure here, but it's a bigger one. It's a much bigger one here, right? 1, 2, 3. So we will be looking for this to come down to the low, not breaking that top. If they break the top, that negates the sell setup. So we're waiting for that sell setup. Silver still in consolidation. If you're a buyer, make sure you move your stop very tight because we're at the top. And from this top, they can do two things. They can break out or they can come right back here. So next week, they will tell us which one we're getting. We're getting this trade or we're getting that trade. They'll tell us next week, don't worry. It's too early to tell. Gold, similar structure, same thing they're going to do. They're at the top. They will either come back here or they'll break out. Either trade would be wonderful. Next week, we will know, right? Eventually, these structures will all go up. They will all go up. Gold will go up. Silver will go up. They're just consolidating right now. So wait for that. Oil, making a similar structure. You can see that. This one up also. Wait for it. They could come back. They're at the top. They could come back to the low, or they could break out. Natural gas broke out, pull back. It's breaking here, so look for a deeper correction and up. Right? Let's go. What else? I think that is all. We were not going to look at anything. But somebody was asking me, really asking me to look at S&P 500. I think they're in big trouble with S&P 500. They probably short it and don't know what to do. So this correction went up, then it started to do this. And when it was at the bottom here, I told my trader, don't panic. If you're those who were in the sell here, there was a sell setup for here for us. I think I even showed that in my room. For those of you, I showed this in the webinar also. This sell setup if you want to take it. Not that we thought it's going to go like that. If you took it, you're lucky. And now what are they doing? They're going up, right? But this is not very aggressive move up. You can see that, right? It's not very aggressive. So it may come back to this line, probably break here or bounce back here. So you'll have to watch to see how this comes back. Is it going to come back pretty fast or is it going to come back slow? Right? So watch it. Pound New Zealand, nothing is happening yet. Just leave it. There is one trade to the upside. If it happens next week, I'll post the charts out. So don't worry with that. Nothing much is happening in there. Skip it. I could go back pretty fast if we have time. I'm just trying to do copper, by the way. If any one of you took the copper trade, anybody took the copper trade? I mean, some of my traders took it. Did any one of you on TradingView took it? That was from this who is not in my group. Well done. Well done. At least some of you did take it, right? That's well done. Really good. So keep it until it gets to that top there, right? Keep it until it gets there. Move your stop. You can actually move your stop to this level. It makes a consolidation here. It goes up back there. Move your stop to this level. It starts to consolidate there. You can wait for the breakout. If it starts to come down, take off the trade. Right? Starts to come down, take off the trade. This pattern very often breaks to the downside, but we don't know that this is a triangle as yet. We don't know that, and this thing could break right up to the top there. So you want to keep that trade. If we think silver and gold is going to go up, copper will follow. right? So keep the trade. Good trade you guys are in. I can't trade that in my account. I wish I could, right? But that's a really, really nice trade. The risk to reward is amazing. Okay, let's get some questions now. We have a couple minutes prepared. We can take an extra 10 minutes and take questions. Let's go. What are the questions? Start typing now because I would not read the questions that were back. Okay, let's start with Rene question. Pang Aussie yesterday was a buy. Let's start with that. Everybody hold your question a little. There'll be too many questions. I think I explained that in the Pang Oz, but he probably missed it. So let me go back. Pang Oz, let's go to the 1 hour. And let me see where the buy setup was. 4 hours. It's on the 4 hour or what? It was on the 1 hour. I don't know why we're not getting the charts. Oh, buy setup. There it was. Let's grab the chart too. So the idea is when it break out, buy. It doesn't mean when a candle come out of a structure, you buy immediately. If you do that, you should stop trading. Full stop. You know nothing about trading. See the second explanation? Saw this? When it comes out, wait for a flag, wait for the break of the flag, and there's a likelihood it will not break the flag. If it doesn't break the flag, I will not be in the trade. When it didn't break the flag, no break to the flag, look for a sell setup because that structurally is going down. What did it do? Let's go look at the chart then. What did it do? 15 minutes. Let me put it in the 15 minutes so you can have a learning moment. It made a sharp move up. It made a pullback. It made another sharp move up. It didn't break the flag, and then it starts to come down. Sell setup. Not a very interesting sell setup. I said it's very short term. Yep, you need the confirmation. That's what I'm teaching you. That's what I'm telling you, right? I keep saying that in about 10 of my charts this week. Guys, don't jump in trade because it hits a fib. Don't jump in trade because somebody said there's a support or resistance there. Don't jump in trade because there's a pattern that is ending or starting there. Don't do that. Because if you do that, you will see how much losing trades you had last week. Trades you should have never been in the very first place. You have no right being in those trades. The chart had no clues that it's going to do what you think it's going to do. The chart was warning you that it was not going to do what you wanted it to do. Right? So let's go back. Let me see what other questions we had. So many questions so fast. I wouldn't be able to read all of them. I see. Okay, let me go back. I would skip those that just says do this chart. We don't need to do. Apart from Elliott Wave Principle, is there any other book you recommend reading first? No, I don't recommend. That is the book you should read. And when you read the book and you can't understand anything, come to me. We'll show you how to do it. We'll show you how to recognize the patterns in the chart. You read the book, you still wouldn't be able to do that. But the book gives you the theory. We will give you the practical part. That is why we have a training course. We train you. How the heck do you trade so many pairs? No, I don't trade so many pairs. We have traders over 300 that trade all these pairs. So that is why we do all these pairs. We have traders that trade only the Euro Swiss, the Pound Swiss, and the Dollar Swiss. Those three charts, that's all. We have traders who trade Swedish krona, and I don't have the Swedish krona on. We have traders who trade the Singaporean dollar and the Singaporean dollar to the pound and the Singaporean dollar to the euro. We don't show those charts because only single traders do that. But all these pairs we do because we have 300 plus traders around the world that trades. And if you want to look at how many trades other people are asking me to do Aussie Chief, they're asking me to do some charts that I've never seen in my life, right? So I just do that for my traders. These are heads up that we do daily so my traders could understand what they're looking at. I personally trade about 3 or 4 pairs. And personally right now, I'm trading Aussie New Zealand dollar, and I'm waiting for the Euro New Zealand. I also trade the yen a little last week. I'm looking at the yen pair because I think there are big moves coming in them. And right now I'm looking at that Aussie CAD. I like the trade. Somebody wants me to the New Zealand CAD. See, I'm telling you, people just want all those charts, not because I trade them. How do you use fibs? That's a whole week class we do in our trading room, in our course, in our 6 weeks course. 1 week is actually about fib. New Zealand CAD. No, we're not going to look at more charts now because we're limited by time. Sorry about that. Can I use this strategy in micro account? You can use that strategy in any account. The strategy itself it's not a strategy. I didn't show you any strategy. I think you're actually misinterpreting me. I'm showing you generally how we read the charts. I didn't remember disclosing our strategy to anybody, and I would never do that. Not in these webinars. We do that in our trading room. Can you suggest any platform for learning charts? Platform for learning charts? No, you don't have any platform for learning charts. You have to find a charting platform, any charting platform. We're using TradingView. We like it. So if you like TradingView, you can sign up and you can use that. That is for only analysis, and now you can trade in it also. What do you think about fibs? What do I think about fibs? I don't really think a lot about fibs. We use it. We use fibs for support, for retracements, and for targets. That's what we use it for. Yeah, always need confirmation. That's okay. If you see an impulse with 5 waves, we're not going to discuss that. It's not a fact that the 5 waves you see are the 5 waves I see. So we're not going to discuss. That is already training sessions. What are the parameters for the MACD? They're standard. Since we have many Singaporean people here, can we look? You see, somebody wants a Singaporean dollar, and somebody was just asking why you look at so many pairs, right? We are short of time. I would have looked at it, but we're really short of time, right? Do you use Elliott waves such as not crossing 1 and 4 and 3? And we're not discussing the Elliott wave rules. We follow them, but that's not what we're discussing here today. It's not a teaching session. MACD is your standard setting, isn't it? Yeah, the MACD is standard setting. I learned it hard way by hitting my stop loss. Oh, yeah, that is somebody learning. Yeah, I know. I get a lot of messages from you, and I keep telling you don't do that. Is that please? That news spike me out. Does that the New Zealand CAD, the news spike you? Don't trade just in front of a news event. Why do you? You shouldn't do that, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Can I say it have the, when you're already out of the trade, there's no sense to go look at it anyway. Can I say that it have the same structure as EURUSD? That is which one, Jan? I'm not sure which one you're talking about, because the first message you wrote is already very far away. Hard to see the breakout trend line is not the same as everyone. Yep, that's true. Our lines are different because we look at structures and other people are just putting lines. Right? If you look at a number of charts, I see people like to put lines all over the place. They're just putting lines. We have rules. If you're in my group, you can only put the line the way I put it because you're putting it based on rules. Strict rules. It's not up to you where to put that line. It's based on the rules we have. How many trades do you make average per week? I never counted it. Sometimes I'm in 4 trades. Sometimes I'm in 0 trades. Well, hardly I'm in 0 trades. Sometimes I'm in 1 trade. Sometimes, if this week all those trades I'm in, if they keep going next week, I'll be in the same trades next week. And if nothing else happens, I'll add no trades to that. If anything else happens, I'll add a trade to that. And I'm still in those trades, like in the Aussie New Zealand and the Euro, the dollar New Zealand. If I get the Euro New Zealand next week, I'll add that to it. And if I get more New Zealand trades, I'll add it to it. Because I'm already out of risk in the Aussie New Zealand. The dollar New Zealand not out of risk as yet, but will eventually get there. So once it's not how many trades. I think that's an immature question. How many trades? How many open risk you have on your, what percentage open risk you have on your account? That is important to me. It's not how much trades I'm in, but what is my open risk? And I never like to have an open risk of more than 4 or 5%. Open risk in all my trades, right? When I'm actually practicing something, like last week I answered that question and everybody misinterpreted. Somebody asked me if I ever break my money management rules, and one guy was lecturing me and I'm over trading, right? He's funny because I actually teach money management, right? I knowingly break the rules sometimes because I'm training myself for something else. When I break that rule, I am in a single trade, but it's over trading. It's more than 5% sometimes open risk. But I know what I'm doing because I'm consciously doing it. It's not like people who just click a trade, don't know what they're doing. They have no clue about money management, and then they start to panic when time comes. I don't do that. My idea is to actually control that emotions when I do it. I'm actually doing it for a purpose. right? So that's a different story. Please don't go on YouTube and lecture me what money management I should use and whether it's good or bad money management. You know, sometimes traders, here's the thing. If you learn all the rules and you master them, every now and then you will want to try to break the rules to see if you can do something else. And that's okay with me as long as you know the rules. As long as you know what you're doing, right? Because if you have control over what you're doing, then every now and then you can experiment. That's part of trading. Can you quickly go over oil? I did it already. You can watch it in the thing. You use MACD to identify waves? I don't know. We don't discuss that in here. Annual reading the book is a requirement for the course. Definitely. You have to read the book before you can get into the course. All my traders have to read the book. We don't teach you what's in the book. Let me get this clear to traders. I see some people start posting the book as if that is, we don't teach you what is in the book. We teach you how to identify the structures in the chart based on what is in the book. So you have to have the knowledge, and then you come to us and we give you the practical part. That's what we do. It's a whole different story. Somebody Yulia, Yulia, you just heard where the person asked me, why am I doing so much chart? Now you want me to do that one for you. Okay, we'll do that in the group for you. I'll do it over the weekend for you, don't worry. Remind me in our group. Any questions related to our training will not be, yeah, exactly, Mark. Good, Mark. Thank you for telling them, right? But people will try their luck, don't worry. They'll keep asking the questions, hope that I'll answer it. When is the best time to add more trades, for instance, Aussie, New Zealand? I'll post that if we see it. Most of the time, it's based on our strategy. Can I use this strategy in my, I think I saw that account and I answered that already. Could you give any tips in correctly identifying a flag? That I'll have to teach you everything about structure that I know so that you can correctly identify a flag. Please only ask, yep, if you ask the questions once, that will help. If you're long Aussie, New Zealand, why would you take Aussie CAD trade? Because Aussie, New Zealand, and Aussie CAD are two different trades. One has CAD inside and one has New Zealand inside. Right? So if you should answer your question yourself simply by doing that. Do you go through all the pairs with your traders every day? Yes, I do that every day. All those pairs you see, I go through them every day, twice daily with my traders. When we don't have training sessions, when we have training sessions, we do it once daily. You thought this was called a wave strategy, but that is okay. You took it as an insult because I said I didn't give you my strategy. No, I didn't. Let me repeat it. I did not give the strategy we use to trade. This is called wave analysis. Joseph, don't take things so personally. It's called wave analysis. What I'm doing here is analyzing the charts to tell you the direction I think they will go. Right? I'm doing analysis. How I will trade it is based on the strategy we will use to trade each pair separately based on the type of strategy we're going to use to trade. And I have not discussed my strategy with you. So please, don't take, like it's okay. What if the news interfere with the structure? The news is part of the structure. It doesn't interfere with the structure. It helps build the structure. US, Singapore has same structure to euros. I don't know. We'll have to look at it. In your opinion, what is the best risk reward? Anything that is above 2 is okay. If you're making 2 to 1, that's okay. But anything above that, I like to get the bigger ones. 5% is the safest way to deal with losses. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on you. It depends on every trader individually. I just give you my opinion, what I like to do. What book? The Elliott Wave Principles. I'm currently trading futures, and my account does not overnight. Hence, I have to short trades. Oh well, you can do that. You can do short trades. I don't. That's okay. Oh, somebody just gave you the book there. Thanks, Victor. I think practical is more helpful than that is what we do. We train you. That's why it's practical. Use the size you want. You don't have to use volume as Elliott. You don't use volume as Elliott did. I am not sure what you mean by that. I am not sure what you mean by Elliott using volumes. I have no idea about that. What is flags? What is flag? Seriously, go to babypit.com and read. Okay, I have to read the book more carefully. Do it. Elliott used volume as a tool for verifying waves. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard of that. I read the book a number of times, and I can tell you more than one times I haven't heard of that. Thanks, Anil, for this webinar. I've been great. Okay, guys. So I think that's it. Great. Like I said, if he does, that's okay. If you can go ahead and do that, I'm not telling you no. I'm not starting an argument. I said no. That's not what I do. I do it different, right? Does their broker take a lot of fees? Broker take a lot of fees from the long trades you take. Overnight rolling, yes, they do take, but it's not a lot. I can tell you, it's not a lot. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. See all of you next week. And don't forget to click the likes if you like what I do, and share the links. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.